Have you been diagnosed with osteoporosis and you're wondering, what do I do now with my exercise routine? What's safe? What's not? Let me help you out with that today. My name is Dawn. I'm with New Dawn Exercise Therapy, and I work with a lot of people in the same situation. They've been either recently or in the past diagnosed with osteoporosis, and they need to know, what do I do? What can be effective? What can be safe? Can I still exercise? And my answer is a definite yes. If anything, this is the time where you have to exercise regularly. So I want to review with you today my top 8 exercises for folks dealing with osteoporosis. Here we go. The first one is a squat. Squats normally involve a lot of leaning forward. And that can be okay if you know how to hold your back properly, but if you're prone to rounding, that's not something we want to do. So what I like to do is grab my big exercise ball, and I put this against a wall, and I put this into the curve of my lower back. And this is lovely because it just keeps your back supported and keeps you totally upright. We lean into the ball, we walk those feet forward. The feet would be about shoulder width apart, shoulders back, chin up, and we're just gonna squat down and up. So notice the back just stays totally upright. My tailbone stays pointed to the floor. I don't lean forward or backwards. I could hold some heavier dumbbells in my hands right now as I do this squat. So I love ball wall squats because it will keep your back in a completely upright position, and you don't have to think too hard about how you're holding your back at that time. Next up, straight leg deadlifts. And what those are, it's an exercise for your hamstrings, okay? So squats are great for your quads and your glutes, your hips, but we want to work the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. So I've got a little bit heavier set of weights. The feet would be shoulder width apart. It's very important you do this properly. We're going to hinge at the hips, and I'm going to come down just low enough where I feel that stretch in the backs of my thighs. Now I want you to pay attention to this. I'm not rounding at all. See how nice and flat my back is? I'm going to show you a way that I wouldn't want you to do this. You start to come down and then you start to round your back. And that's going to get a spine that's been diagnosed with osteoporosis in trouble. So again, your weight is in your heels. You're kind of pushing your hips back. I'm coming down. Ooh, there's my nice hamstring stretch. My back and my shoulder blades are back. And I come back up. So if you do that properly, it's going to be very back friendly. So keep that in mind. Those are for your hamstrings, okay? Number 3, when you do overhead presses for your shoulders, I'm going to suggest when you have your weights in your hands that you stagger your feet just a little bit like this. All right, I'm not way out there, but I just popped a foot forward a little bit, one back. What that does is help you tuck your butt a little bit and not overarch your back when you're pushing your dumbbells over your head. Because we all know if you're a regular exerciser and you try to do this, you start to arch your back because those weights are getting heavy. So we just stagger the feet a little bit, makes it much, much easier to control that lower back curve. That's important if you've got osteoporosis in your spine. Number 4, I love push-ups. They are a full body strengthener and they're great. I think anybody can do push-ups. I got a guy who's 91 right now and he's doing them, and he's getting stronger on them. So the way to do push-ups, if you're not used to doing them, is I've got my exercise bench here right now, and this elevates me, and that means they're easier. Now your form is important, it always is. Abs are in, back is straight, and you're just going down and up, okay? You're just taking that down and up. So that's a little bit easier way to do push-ups. You can do them from the floor, you can do them off an exercise ball. You just get on your exercise ball and walk it out to your thighs for easier, out to your shins a little bit harder. I know a lot of times I'll do my push-ups off my bench. I've got my toes up on my bench, and my hands will be up on the floor, and you can do them that way when you get stronger, okay? But again, what's going to be important is you don't sway down your lower back. You've got to keep that straight. I like that nice neutral low back curve, but when it starts to get bigger, that's when we can get into problems. So keep that in mind. Push-ups are great, but watch your form. Upper back, keeping your posture and your upper back strong is going to be super important from here on out, because if we round, all the vertebrae get extra strain that they don't need. We want to train you how to stay upright. I love to do that with this exercise band. I have one with handles, so I'm going to slide my hands through the handles. But basically, you just grab your band, and it's out in front. And I just call these V pulls. And you just go back like that, and then front. You're always going to keep your band taut. All right, so that's out in front. To vary this, what you could do is go overhead. All right? So you've got variety on that. And what this does, it works all those muscles for your posture around your shoulder blades. It helps to kind of pull you up and back. Again, that's so important to keep those muscles strong. We don't like to round any portion of our back. We like to keep that nice and neutral spine position. So those are your V's. Next up, if you're working your biceps, it's a pretty basic exercise, right? But what you're gonna do is maybe stand on one foot. And actually, I'm just gonna drop one weight down. If you're just starting with balance, I'm gonna recommend you have something by you that you can lightly hold on to, like just put your fingertip against the wall. I'm standing on one foot, and I would just do my set of biceps there. All right, so maybe 10 to 12, depending how heavy that weight is. And then I would just switch, and I would do the other side. Now, if you're somebody who's like, I don't have a problem with my balance anymore, well, let's get a little creative. You just stand here, maybe kicking out the leg and doing both arms at the same time. And you do the first half there, all right? And then you just switch legs, and you do the other half there. So I choose biceps for the balance just because bicep is a pretty basic exercise for all of us. And if you just do one arm, you could always get something to hold on to there. Next is how you work your abs. Probably don't want to be doing crunches and sit-ups anymore just because that rounds the spine. We need to stay away from that. So I like stuff like planks. Okay, most of us know how to do planks, variations on planks. Or you could do laying down, legs up in the air, making sure you keep the top of that pelvis tilted back into the floor. Variations on some legs, okay? The lower the legs go, the harder the work. So you could just do little teeny raises like that, or you could be scissoring those legs. Okay, another option is keep the knees bent, and you're gonna lower those legs out. You could always do one leg at a time, but usually the lower we go and the straighter the legs go, the harder the work is gonna be. And again, as long as you keep that low back curve still and don't let it go up and down, you're gonna be safe. So it's when we start to get that low back curve, get a little more out of control, that we can have some issues. You don't wanna do that. And again, always trying to draw the navel in. What that does is pulls all these internal organs in, okay? Keeps you stronger there, keeps pressure off the back, because if you let everything kind of hang on out, it does kind of pull on the spine, so we don't wanna do that. My last exercise, exercise number 8, is walking, okay? Walking ideally daily. Walking is so good because it's weight bearing, and if you have osteoporosis, the more weight bearing you can do, the better, because we want to stimulate those bones to hopefully get a little more mass and density on. I like variations. I like to get the heart rate to kind of go up and down. I think that's good for developing your cardiovascular health. So if you're used to walking, perhaps you're thinking about you're going to walk faster for 30 seconds. And then you're going to take it back down for about a minute or two and then walk faster. Or maybe you even need to jog a little bit for 30 seconds and then take it back down. Or you're finding a hill and you're going up that hill, and that will give you a little bit extra work. But that's one of my favorites as well for people dealing with osteoporosis, is walking or elliptical, something weight bearing. So those are my top 8 exercises. If you have any questions or concerns, if I can help you out with anything, please do get in touch with me, and I wish you a great day.